Welcome to another You-Centered podcast. Today, on Friday, I'm very excited. We've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks since we had the girls from the Black Students Union. We have a representative from the Muslim Club at North Andover High School. Very excited. Selma Khayal is going to introduce herself and give a little bit of a bio. But I was a person that was unaware that we actually had a Muslim club at the high school earlier this year. My good friend Andy Van Horn gave me a little heads up that there's a great group that you might want to talk to. So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to have a conversation and we're going to talk a little bit about the club, the initiatives with the club, some of the things that they're hoping to do going forward. And then we're going to just get into a lot of different discussion about our community and the Muslim community here in North Andover. So first of all, welcome to the podcast, Selma.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm here.
So Selma, we usually let our guests do the bio, so we talked a little off air. You've got a nice history here. I don't think people know that you, or may they know that you've lived here pretty much your whole life, not gone to school here the whole time. But why don't you give us in the community, who is Selma?
Sure. So my name is Selma Khayal. I'm a Muslim Egyptian girl born and raised here in Mass. I'm a junior at North Andover High School, and I've lived in North Andover my whole life, but I actually never went to any of the elementary schools here, even NAHS, the North Andover Middle School. Instead, where I went was a K-8 private school in Methuen that goes by TIA, which stands for the Islamic Academy for Peace. And that's where almost all of my core values in my religion were taught to me, other than lectures at mosques or my family. I also take part in clubs other than the MSA, including the UNICEF Club and BSU and the Race Amity Club at North Andover High School.
Awesome. You're very active at our high school. And I was really pleased to tell me about where you went to school, because I'm actually familiar with the Islamic Academy in Methuen and know some kids that have gone there, and obviously living within a mile of that, I've been by that school many times. So you spent your formative years, elementary school and middle school, all the way since kindergarten there, and then you came to the high school. So talk to me a little bit about the Muslim Club at the high school. Who's the advisor? When did it get started?
Sure. So it goes by the acronym MSA, which stands for Muslim Student Association, and it's composed of a group of Muslim students with the purpose of educating really any student interested in Islam, and by that hopefully clearing any misconceptions students may have, and also just learning how to treat humanity in general, because we just want to share the beauty of Islam with others who may have a negative stigma towards it. And the advisor is Miss Patry. It used to be Miss Kelly when it first started, but she had a lot of things going on this year. So Miss Patry took over, and she's been very helpful about it and very passionate. Miss Patry's a very nice person. She just wants to make everyone feel like they belong. She's very inclusive. So she helps us a lot in this club.
I've heard some great things about her. So I had the girls from the BSU, and we're hoping to have some groups from the Southeast Asian Pacific Asian Club next week, and her name comes up a lot, and everybody describes her the same way, a really nice person who really cares and actually wants everyone to be obviously included, and I hope to get to meet her because she sounds like a really nice person. So take me through this a little bit. You said the club started before we got hit with the world pandemic, and obviously our world changed, and this year you're obviously continuing. So can you tell me a little bit before, like in the first year when it was first established, what was some of the things you might have done? And can you tell me, like, how do kids get into the club, and how many kids are actually in the group?
Okay, so we have around 20 people in the club, somewhere there, and so last year we used to have meetings every Tuesday around like 3 p.m. But before the pandemic, that's how it was. And then around when the pandemic started, they were going to have a bake sale. I actually wasn't in the club last year because I was doing track. My schedule kind of clashed with it, so I didn't really have time. But I know from Yosra, who couldn't make it today, she told me that meetings were around 6 to 7 people at the start. And around COVID last year, they were going to do a fundraiser for the Uyghur Muslims in China, but right before they had to cancel it because of COVID. But when this year came around, the club leader wasn't really sure if we were going to have in-person meetings, so he also recommended that we do Zoom meetings. And so we started that, and because we had 2 members who were seniors, so they left last year. So we had to re-advertise the club. We made an Instagram, which is NAHS_MSA. And we also made a classroom and a remind text. The classroom's code is TAL4NF. And we have a Google Meet once every 2 weeks now. And our remind text is NAHS-MSA. You just text that to 81010. And really, if you can just contact any of the MSA members or email Ms. Patry, and like she'll be happy to let you into the classroom, and you can join the meetings anytime.
So it's open to anybody,
Yeah.
freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and senior.
Anyone.
And do you have to be Muslim to be in the group?
No.
Or is it all inclusive to anybody that has maybe an interest?
Yeah, it's all it's to anyone who wants to learn more about Islam or just hear our points of views or just learn more about the religion. It's not only for Muslims.
Now, you've grown up in North Andover your whole life,
Mm-hmm.
so you're familiar with our community. Do you think the average high school student knows much about Muslim people or Muslim history or anything like that?
I don't think so. I wouldn't say they have like, I don't know. I don't think so.
Do you find that kids are inquisitive and want to know more about it?
Yeah, I do. Like I know some of my friends at school when, like for example, when it's around the month of Ramadan when we have to fast for the whole month, like from sunrise to sunset. I know my friends ask me questions like, oh, why do you do that? What's the purpose? You know, all these things. So like obviously there are people who are interested, but the basic knowledge isn't there.
Do you look at opportunities like Ramadan, right?
Yeah.
So, obviously I don't think the average person knows what the whole month is and why, like you said, why you can't eat from sun up to sundown during that period of time. Do you take that as an opportunity to educate kids about Ramadan or anything in the Muslim field?
Yeah, of course I do. I mean, it's not something to be ashamed of. I like whenever someone asks me a question, I always answer. Even if I don't know it I just answer to the best of my ability, or I tell them I'll get back to you. But of course I take it as, an opportunity to tell people more about Islam and what it's like, and what the purpose of it is, and what it's supposed to be, like what type of lifestyle you have to live.
Sure. And in your classes, do you have an opportunity to maybe help, like say you were in maybe a history class or anything like that, do you have the opportunity, does the teacher give you an opportunity to maybe share some of your feelings on things like this?
Yeah, well, I think the teachers at the high school are very good at like taking different kids' points of views, and especially when we talk about like other religions, I can always relate because like all religions kind of stems from the same idea. So if they say something in class about another religion, I can say, oh, like in my religion we have a similar concept, and it's like we can all learn from each other.
Absolutely, good point. Do you have any idea how big the Muslim population is in North Andover?
In North Andover, I don't know how big it is. I know there are a few at the high school, but I don't know how big in the whole town.
So it's not, obviously I talk a lot on this podcast that our community has changed a lot since I first started here 33 years ago, where when I first started here, the community was basically a white middle class community, and what's been exciting for me over the course of 3 decades now is to see that, again, we are a predominantly white community, but it's great to see lots of other different races here and things like that. And you growing up here, was there any difficulties of being, not the traditional, I'm a white North Andover community kid? How was that for you?
I don't think there were huge, I don't think there was a huge problem. There were just little things here and there, just like I said, just people not really knowing who I am or why I dress it the way I do, or why I fast, things like that. But I don't think there have been any big problems in North Andover. It's a very inclusive town. Even though it is predominantly white, there are a lot of people who are interested in Islam and Muslims, and they just want to learn more. But I don't think there was any problem.
Yeah, I do think we are a great community. I think we are very accepting, and I love the fact that we're a little bit of a changing community, and I think it's for the better. So in terms of the group this year, the club, you talked about what you were doing prior to the pandemic, and you were going to be helping the Muslims in China as a fundraiser. What are some of the things you've been working on this year? And again, this year is different. You've been doing these Google Meets or Zoom Meets to hold it. Are there initiatives that you're planning this year and beyond?
Yeah, there are. So this year we started, we sent out a Google form to start receiving questions about Islam and post our answers on our Instagram and discuss them in our meetings to those who attend. We also just want to educate North Andover High School students about Islam and what it consists of and what Muslims believe and their practices. And also just we want to go back to what we were going to do. We want to go back to the donating the charities. So we want to help those in need by raising donations and putting posters around school. Also, in our own community, we want to set up a prayer room or like just a quiet room at the high school, not only for Muslims but non-Muslims too, who just simply want a little quiet time or a place to pray. And also get more people aware about the month of Ramadan and the 2 annual Muslim holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope you keep pushing that, because I think it is just like with Black History Month, we're looking at things. I think it's been really good to educate and make people aware of that. So tell me a little bit more about the quiet room. Like you said, for Muslims, non-Muslims, but almost a quiet place. Reason being for that, and are there any plans to actually get that done?
Sure. So I'm an OLA student, so I don't go to the school itself.
So right now you're OLA, okay.
Yeah. But I remember last year in my freshman year, so I have to pray at the school. There's a prayer I have to pray in the school because Muslims have 5 daily prayers.
Correct.
And so especially when daylight savings time, around like earlier in the year when it's around winter time, there's a prayer that I have to pray. There's a morning prayer, afternoon, late afternoon, and 2 in the night. So when I am at the school, it's a little difficult to find a place to pray. So obviously when I went to the high school, when I first started, I talked to my guidance counselor. I was like, oh, so I need a place to pray. She told me, yeah, no problem. Like, there's this room in guidance you can totally use. I was like, okay, thank you. So it's a storage room. It's enough space to pray, but I mean, there is a growing Muslim community. Like, my little sister just joined. She's a freshman now at the high school, and Yusra has a sibling too at the high school, and like, more people are coming in. So I just want like a place for everyone to like be able to just, I don't know, like have a moment to themselves, even non-Muslims, just to pray or really anything, just to... Yeah, almost a reflection time, right? Yeah. It's just to kind of gather your thoughts. I think that would be great for anything. But obviously knowing a little bit about your Muslim religion and the prayers that obviously you need to do on a daily basis, sounds great that North Andover High School Guidance has been very helpful for you to make that happen for you guys. I do ask this, and I ask this of the BSU also, is as you're educating the high school kids, is there an interest to maybe do some work down at the younger grades, like the middle school or something like that? Yeah, of course there is, because we are like their role models almost, so it is important for us to not only focus on the high school but the younger kids too, and maybe some of the things we do at the high school we can also do at the middle school or elementary schools. Like, we want to decorate the school for the month of Ramadan, so maybe we can decorate the middle school too, so they can have a feel of what's going on. Yeah, and let me know if we can help in any ways of setting you up with maybe Principal Gungavis down at the middle school, as well as some of our elementary school principals. I'm sure they would be interested in helping with that. In terms of support that you've gotten at the high school, I know our good principal, Chet Jackson, is very open to a lot of these different initiatives that people want to do, different clubs or whatever. From my vantage point, from your vantage point, do you feel like the school has been supportive of what you want to do? I feel like they have been. Mr. Jackson has been very open to our ideas. Like whenever we email him, and Miss Patry too. She's been a big help. When she's like, whenever you need me to email like a teacher or another person, just let me know. I can email them. She's always open to talking to other people. Guidance too. Like I said, they've been like Mr. Nugent and my guidance counselor, Mr. Regato. They've been very helpful throughout my whole high school years, not just this year and with the MSA club. I don't know, they just really know how to make people feel like they belong.
How's it been for you as an OLA student? And for people, most people do know the OLA students are basically remote all year.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not having that connection you had at school. How hard has it been for you to continue the initiatives with the Muslim group by being an OLA student? Has it been more difficult?
It has been more difficult, but I do think it's still possible. Like when I go to, hopefully when I go to decorate the high school, I can go after school. Like I even like for my regular classes, I go and pick up a book from the main office, or when I got this Chromebook, I get it from the main office, so I could go after school hours to decorate. But also Zoom meetings have been helping out. Like that's how we've been meeting since the beginning of the year. We've been using Zoom meetings to connect with each other and share our ideas and what we want to do next.
Yeah, that's great. You talked about the support that you've gotten from adults in the building, and you talked at the beginning about trying to make some of your fellow students aware or whatever. How do you think the general population of the students at the high school have accepted your club and what you're trying to do?
So like I said, I do OLA, so I can't explain this as well as a hybrid student, but I'll try my best. So,
sure.
I know we made a Google form, and you'll sort of put QR codes around the school for people to scan and go on to there and submit any questions they have. We also shared it on the MSA Instagram and our social medias, and we actually didn't get any responses. I guess we had no questions to answer. And so honestly, I think it's largely because the form recorded people's emails, and I feel like I wanted to see what type of questions we'd get if it didn't record people's emails, because I feel like people would have been more comfortable knowing that it's anonymous and like we'll just answer whatever we can. But if it's not anonymous, then people are like, oh well, I'll just turn to the internet and see what it says on
Sure.
there. But like they won't be as open if it's known who's asking the question or what they want to know.
So maybe as you go forward, you can find a way to allow kids to anonymously ask questions,
Yeah.
as opposed to, you're right, I agree, sometimes if it's anonymous,
It's a little
you get,
intimidating.
yeah, it is to a certain degree. So as you look at building this program, and again, you're an OLA student right now, but you're only a junior, so next year, and I do believe we're gonna be in a better place next
Hopefully.
year. I'm hoping that you won't have to be an OLA student, that you'll be able to attend North Andover High School 5 days a week next fall, and I'm pretty optimistic about that. What are some of your hopes as you become a senior next year? Where would you like to take the MSA next year?
I just want to hopefully have that that little room set up for us, and maybe just have more people know about Ramadan and the two other annual holidays that we have, and maybe have done have a charity set up for people struggling around the world or here, just something to like look forward to.
That's good stuff. Now, you obviously went 8 years of school in Methuen at the Islamic Academy. You're at North Andover High School now. Are you aware of other MSAs at high schools around here?
Yeah, so the MSA is actually a national club. It's at many other high schools and colleges here. Some of our meetings lately have actually been with the MSA club in Connecticut, and another in Acton, Boxborough Regional High.
Oh, at
so we've
Acton,
been talking.
okay.
Yeah, we've been talking to them, and there's also one at UMass Boston, and we got in contact with them.
So you're doing a lot of network with other schools, both high school and colleges, to kind of build that up or whatever. And do you find that good in terms of support, that other people are doing a lot of the same things you guys are doing?
Yeah, I think so. And the high school in Connecticut, the Enfield High School, it actually told us to reach out to the colleges in our area, so they kind of led us to what we should do and what we should start. doing. So we got in contact with UMass Boston, and they said that any events they have are open to the public and for us to try. So they were helpful with that too.
Awesome. And we've got obviously schools around here too, like Merrimack College, UMass Lowell, Northern Essex Community College. Those might be 3 other universities to get in contact with to kind of build this up a little bit. So you're a junior in high school, and I can just tell in this half hour that I'm meeting with you, you're very intelligent and you've got a real mission-driven attitude to try to make people aware of the MSA and some of the issues. Let me ask you, when you look around nationally in our country here, around the world, what are some of the world issues that you want to make more people aware of in terms of being tolerant of differences and things like that?
I think just the basics, really, that we're all just flesh and bones. We're all humans, so to treat everyone equally is the main goal, and it's the biggest concept we need to focus on, and also just implement it in our day-to-day lives and in every action we take.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about your family. Who do you live with?
I live with my parents and my 2 sisters. I have an older sister and a younger sister.
What's your older sister do?
She just graduated actually last year, and she's about to start her job. I don't know what she is.
Did she go to the high school?
No, she went to PMA in Methuen.
Okay, PMA.
And she went to TIA like me.
Okay, awesome. And your youngest sister's a freshman.
Yeah, she just started.
And she's
been OLA the whole time.
She's been OLA too, so that's been tough as a freshman, right?
Yeah, she wanted to go to in person. I was like, trust me, you'll have more opportunities to make friends. It's good right now to stay online.
Yeah, and she's got 3 more years with that. And what's your mom and dad do?
My dad is in a medical. He's in the medical field. He works at a company called Transmedics. It's like for organ transplant company.
Oh.
And my mom is a teacher at the the middle school I went to, the K through 8.
In Methuen. So she's a teacher at the school.
Yeah, she teaches Arabic and Islamic studies there.
Awesome. Now, do you have a lot of extended family that live here or somewhere around here?
No, almost all of my family's in Egypt. I just have like an uncle or 2 down in Texas, the Arizona area, somewhere there. But the rest of my family's in Egypt.
Was your mom or dad born in Egypt?
They both were.
They were both born
in Egypt.
So when did they come to the United States?
To the year 2000.
The year 2000. So they've been here for 20 years now.
Yeah.
But you've been in the country obviously since birth.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Good stuff. Let me ask you a little bit about mentors. So as you've grown up, you've gone to the Islamic Academy, you're at North Andover High School, you're involved probably with other things within the Muslim community. Who would you identify as some mentors for you?
Well, first and foremost, my parents.
Your parents?
They've taught me a lot in my life, and they're the ones who put me at the Islamic Academy, which taught me like a lot of what I know now. Also, my older sister, I learned a lot from her, and my teachers at the high school, like Miss Kelly. Miss Kelly's a history teacher there. She used to also be the advisor for the MSA club when it first started.
Right.
She's very nice. I can't describe how much she means to me. I think that's all of them.
Was it an adjustment for you to come from the Islamic Academy in Methuen to North Andover High School? When you get to the high school, a lot of kids have been going to school for 8 or 9 years together. Was there an adjustment for you when you first came here?
Yeah, there obviously was. I mean, because I left the students, my friends that I used to be with for 8 years, and then I went to a school where everybody already kind of had their own cliques, their own groups, and I didn't really know who I would be friends with. So it was an adjustment, but it was easy because there are a lot of people. There are a lot of nice people at the high school. A lot of people you can talk to, and I think I found my group now.
Yeah, it sounds like you have, and obviously you've been there for 3 years now. One of the things that running the youth center, and obviously in talking to folks at the middle school and the high school, is I think we always have to look in the mirror and see what we're doing to help kids move into our community. We have a lot of people that still move into our community. Mm-hmm. Obviously we have a large amount of people that have grown up in North Andover their whole life.
Yeah.
But we have a number of people like yourself that come in middle school or high school or whatever, and I'm always looking for things that we need to do a better job to be welcoming. But it sounds from your perspective, you found your niche here. North Andover High School was very good in helping you adjust and things like that. Do you keep in touch with a lot of your people from the Islamic Academy, the students you went with?
Yeah, I do. They're still like my closest friends because I've known them since I was a child.
Sure.
So I do keep in touch with them. I mean, I don't think I can ever live without them. But I have made some new friends at the high school who I know a few that I'd like to take further on into life. Like I wouldn't want to leave high school without staying in contact with them.
Awesome. Now I want to put a little bit a question out to you, a bit of a challenge. Would the MSA be willing to partner with us here at the Youth Center to possibly do anything in terms of awareness? Like I'm hearing from you today that you'd like people to know more about Ramadan and other days of celebration that the Muslims celebrate. And, I think we would be really good to kind of make sure our people here, our students here, who come from all different types of backgrounds and races, to know more about that. Would the MSA be willing to, kind of maybe help us do with some awareness on that?
Yeah, that sounds like a great cause. I know I want to take part of it, and I could speak for the MSA too. I think they want to take part in this. It sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm really looking to do, so I told you I met with the girls from BSU, I'm meeting with you, I'm meeting with the South Pacific Asian Club, and one of my hopes is if I could get representatives from all of the clubs, and there's tremendous clubs like robotics, and that's not necessarily what I'm talking about. I'm talking more of, cultural type of clubs where I really want to make sure people know exist, and I can point to the right direction. So say I was to have a young Selma at the middle school who really didn't have, a connection and wanted to meet maybe some more people of her background, how to connect them with the high school and everything else. And that's kind of my goal. And as I said earlier, and we have a tremendous group of principals at the elementary school level and the middle school level that I think that would be open to this. You mentioned a lot the great guidance counselors at the high school, and I've had the pleasure to work with every single one of them. Ms. Regato, by the way, was one of my former kids here a million years ago. But I know that they're very open to helping in any way. And it sounds like they did that for you, and I know they've done that for lots of people. So the more we can kind of stay on the same page and help each other, I think would be a win-win. So I'm not going to let you off the hook. I'm going to, next year when we get back to a real year, I'm going to connect with you and bring you by, and we'll do some combined awareness programs and things like that, if that works for you.
To that. Yeah.
Awesome. No, you'd be great with that. All right, couple of things we want to finish up shortly, but we're going to just get to know you a little bit more. What's your favorite class at North Andover High School?
I think any class with Miss Kelly. She's my favorite teacher there.
So what does she teach?
She teaches history.
Okay.
She also has a self-empowerment class and a contemporary world issues class. I took her contemporary world issues class last trimester, and it was really beneficial, especially during the times we live in right now with COVID and everything. So it like we had so much to talk about. I think this year was the best year to take that class because there were so many things to talk about in this country and in countries around the world.
Yeah. So the next one, I think I know the answer to this. Favorite teacher at North Andover High School?
Kelly.
Mrs. Kelly. Okay. I got to get to know her because she sounds like she's awesome. What's a favorite thing you like to do outside of school? Now, again, I know you're in Ola right now, but in a normal year, if you weren't in school, when school's over, what do you like to do?
Hang out with friends mostly. Hang out with my sisters. I used to play soccer.
Yep.
Throughout my middle school years, I started in 4th grade all the way up till 8th grade, and then I played on the freshman team at the high school. So I do like to play soccer too. So I think playing soccer, hang out with friends, going out. I don't know. I like adventures. Just going anywhere.
That's why we have to get out of this pandemic.
I know, I'm so over it.
Yeah, we all are. Last book you read?
The last book I read? Oh, that's
Are you a reader?
One. I'm not a reader.
You're not a reader?
I like to read articles, but I don't like books.
Okay, so you would give me maybe an article. What's the last article you read?
Probably one for my English class. I don't remember its name, but I know I read one last week for my English class. I don't remember its name though.
Okay, but you like reading articles.
Yeah.
Good. Favorite type of music?
Ooh, R&B.
R&B?
R&B.
Okay, nice. Do you have a specific artist in the R&B genre that you like?
I do. I love the Canadian artist The Weeknd.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome, very good. What's your biggest pet peeve? What's something that
Ooh.
bothers you about people?
A lot of things bother me, but if I had to narrow it down to one, when someone shakes their leg and you're like sitting right next to them.
So you're
like,
sitting next to them and they can go like this.
Yeah.
All right, I'll remember not to do that when you're here.
Or if a teacher erases a board and there are like little marks left on the board, that gets me.
Sure.
I can't.
What's your favorite food?
I love food, so I have a lot of favorites. But if I
Do your family have a lot of Egyptian recipes and stuff?
if I had to pick one, probably grape leaves or this other. I don't think it has a name in English, but it's called kushari. It's like rice and macaroni and lentils, and you can put on it like this red sauce, and it's like all that together in one plate.
Nice. I love Mideastern food. I had grape leaves from Shadi's yesterday. I usually go to Shadi's a couple of times a week, and it's good, healthy food for me too, so it's great. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? 5 years from now, we get you through your senior year of college.
I see myself probably interning at a dental office somewhere, and just learning some dental. I don't know, because I want to be a dentist.
You want to be a dentist?
Yeah, somewhere
Good.
in that field.
Good for you. You have any ideas of where you'd like to go to school? I know you still have a year left of high school, but any idea where you'd like to go to school?
I want to go to BU.
Want to go to BU,
Yeah.
Boston University. Outstanding school.
I know. I really want. I hope I get in. I want to go to BU.
Oh, you'll work hard, and I'm sure you will. Couple more questions, then we're going to let you go.
All right.
What would you say? So your sister is a freshman, you're a junior.
Mm-hmm.
If you could go back to talk to the Selma in the 7th grade, what would you tell Selma in the 7th grade that you know now?
I would just tell her to take risks, take a chance, because sometimes things don't happen twice, so you just need to do what you have to do right then and there. Don't think through things as much as you do, because I'm a thinker. I know myself, I'm a thinker. I overthink sometimes, so just sometimes it's best to just give something a try and not be hesitant.
Very good advice. You telling that to your little sister?
I do. I think I do.
Good. All right, I'm going to give you what we call the last word.
Okay.
And I want the last word, and I didn't really give you a heads up on this one at all, but what would you like to say? There were some people in the community, students or adults, that knew nothing about you and the Muslim religion and everything else. What would you want people to know?
I'd want people to know that all religions kind of stem from the same idea, so it's important for you to just treat everyone the same way. Like, treat me the way you treat your sibling or your friend. You know, it's not like we're anything different. We do believe in some different things, but that doesn't mean that we're completely different people. I mean, we do have a lot of common ground, a lot of things we can relate on. So I think just be very appreciative of like the diversity we have in this town, and just be cooperative with others.
Very well said, Selma. I just met Selma today. She's an amazing young woman, people, and I if you get an opportunity to meet Selma, you won't be disappointed. She's got a lot to say. She's got a nice way about saying it, and I think as a community, whatever we can do to help the MSA, we need to continue to do that. I know the folks at the high school will. I know the folks here at the youth center will definitely do that too, and I am going. Don't forget, I get you coming in next year and we're going to partner to do something on awareness, especially around the month of Ramadan. I think it's really important on that. So I want to thank you once again, Selma, for coming on the Youth Centered podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad I'm here. I'm so glad you gave us another platform to talk about our club.
Absolutely. And we'll have this up in the next day. I do want to remind people we have one more club at the high school that we're looking to bring in here, and that's the South Pacific Asian Club, and we're hoping to bring them on next week. And then we're going to be embarking, I know people have just heard about, a 6-part series on leadership, where we're bringing in one different leader every week. There are 6 amazing people who've put together, 3 males and 3 females, that are outstanding leaders. They're going to come in and talk to us about their leadership style and why they are what and who they are. So it's going to be pretty exciting. More information to come on that. So once again, thank you, Selma. And as we finish every podcast, we always say, too much passion is never enough passion.